I fell out of a tree. I'm not exactly sure how.
I had a head-on collision with another motorbike. Somebody was cutting a corner.
I fell from the first story of a building. I fell 30 feet.
I was able to walk in to the hospital, but I came out unable to walk.
I used to be very active, and to be in a chair is just, that's not me.
Oh, my life changed within seconds of that moment. I was a complete able-bodied person. I was 19.
Since 1961, ParaQuad New South Wales has been providing support to people who have suffered spinal cord injury. The primary objective of this support is to enable these people to become independent members of the community.
I had to relearn how to live my life, how to redress, how to find my independence, how to get up and down stairs again, and how to rebuild friendships, and how to accept myself and have self-esteem.
You definitely get confidence that you can lead an independent life now.
I competed in Athens in 2004 and came home with a silver medal. But I work, I do a lot of public speaking, and I also study.
Without ParaQuad New South Wales support, life would be more stressful because I wouldn't feel as though I had the backup.
Without the services that I've been able to access through ParaQuad, I'd be extremely lost. It's like having a comfortability of a backup source, and we're really lucky to have that.
ParaQuad New South Wales, the Paraplegic and Quadriplegic Association of New South Wales, provides specialist services for people with spinal cord injury. ParaQuad provides a support system that aims to meet the needs of people with spinal cord injury for life. ParaQuad services include primary health care from spinal cord injury specialists, including free nursing, occupational therapy, social work, and continence and wound care advice. Supported accommodation for people with transitional and long-term care needs. Home-based personal care support, which helps people live independently in their own homes. Information and advocacy services. Specialist education and training about spinal cord injury. Home delivery of specialist healthcare products. Splinting services, which are very important for people with quadriplegia. And a scholarship program for people with spinal cord injury.
The quality of the services at ParaQuad are excellent.
I rang ParaQuad up, asked if they had a nurse that I could actually come and visit, and she was unreal. She had experience of spinal cord injuries. She spoke to me about lots of other stuff that I didn't come to see her about, and also she was caring and quite welcome to my independence and quite happy to see me being independent and encouraged that way of life. I applied to ParaQuad for a scholarship, and that scholarship I was rewarded in being able to go to university, being able to access the university, and without that support I would not have been able to continue my studies.
ParaQuad provides specialist accommodation for people with spinal cord injury.
ParaQuad's helped me back into the community by being able to give me a roof over my head at the time. I had nowhere else to go.
It enabled me to continue my work outside because I was working in outside industry.
If I'd have been in a nursing home, it would have been disastrous because I didn't want to go into a place where there was a lot of elderly people. I paint. I go out on bus trips with them. I do virtually anything I want to do. My friends can come here, have dinners here, barbecues.
We have full medical backup here 24/7, which is so vital to us. We can come and go any time of the day or night we wish. In some ways we have more independence here than if we were living in our own home.
A major role of ParaQuad New South Wales is creating greater awareness of spinal cord injury and promoting equal access for all in the community.
ParaQuad's aim is to try and put wheelchairs on a higher agenda, trying to put wheelchairs and accessibility out there as something that people just consider, not as being abnormal, but just being a consideration that you've got to make.
I learnt from my experience in Wheels for a Day last year that it's actually a lot harder than it looks to get around in a wheelchair, and even like basic things like getting a cup of coffee and carrying a cup of coffee and travelling with that is extremely difficult. Even like communications and the fact that a lot of people talk over the top of you, and it can be hard to listen to conversations and things like that really made an impact on me. Definitely a different perspective.
ParaQuad relies heavily on donations to fund many of its services and programs. ParaQuad's income is supplemented from the sale of healthcare products, but it relies heavily on the generosity of the community.
I think that there is there's a moral responsibility on corporations to support those organisations who are expert in helping people who are disabled.
I think there's lots of paybacks in supporting ParaQuad New South Wales. Your organisation ends up better off for it. People generally feel better off doing something nice for people.
But there are also some commercial benefits with giving back into the community, and those commercial benefits reflect in your brand, and means that there are a lot of customers that want to come and deal with us because we're a good corporate citizen, and increasingly we're finding it to be more attractive as an employer. Many more people will want to come and work for an organisation that's doing a lot of good, as opposed to those that perhaps aren't so serious around that agenda.
ParaQuad is a non-profit organisation, so it's relying on monies coming in from those sorts of organisations, and I hope they realise that if it wasn't for them, ParaQuad wouldn't exist, and people who have disabilities would be in one hell of a mess.
They are providing a lifeline for people in desperate need and are showing them how they can achieve a more independent life.
ParaQuad New South Wales need to be supported in every way possible. Nobody knows what's going to happen to them. It might be somebody crossing the road 5 minutes from now who has a similar accident.
I'd encourage people to get behind ParaQuad. They're a relatively low profile organisation. They run a pretty lean and mean team, so a lot of the funds that they raise will go directly to the benefit of people impacted by spinal cord injury. And also the work they do, let's face it, is invaluable work, and it makes a profound difference to people's lives. So if you put a combination of those things together, I think it's a pretty compelling case.
Spinal cord injury is very sudden and very unexpected. It's quite a shock to us and our families. For ParaQuad, our main motive in this is to help people with spinal cord injuries maintain a very independent lifestyle. Help us continue these vital services by making ParaQuad your charity of choice. We'd love to welcome you on board.
I also know that ParaQuad have helped many other people that have had spinal cord injuries, and they've gotten them out of the house and been able to allow them to be more independent. So I'd like to say a big thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.